Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I just wanted to say hello from Pro Traders Lounge, myself and Mr. Netso here. How you doing today, Netso?
Hola.
What's up, brother?
Welcome, people. Welcome, people. I'm doing really great, man. BC, you?
Good, man. Yeah, well, we'll talk about it. I mean, a little frustrated even from yesterday. Missed a trade that if I had been at the computer would have been a no-brainer. But we're going to go through that, go through it all, what we're looking at. Um, yeah, let's go ahead and just get started. Pull off the thumbnail and let's hop into the charts. So what happened on Bitcoin, first and foremost? So let's go ahead and go into our high time frame chart. There were two areas that we looked at our last public update video. We had a confirmation zone, and then locally, we identified in the lounge a local inefficient, I'll drag it out so you can see it, a local inefficiency pocket. Now, we did a good job of clearing some of that pocket, but it certainly, as you can see, held as support. And as soon as we claimed that confirmation zone, we were off and running. Like I mentioned in a Twitter post yesterday, from a high time frame perspective, this is a key level, 3190, held firm. When I delved into my local chart, that's when I got a little, call it piss, call it a little FOMO, whatever you want to call it. But our old range from back in July, those old range values we've been looking at for, I keep these levels on my chart until they're no longer respected. So these have stayed on my chart. And our old range back in July, we got that point of control to the damn cent. So if I had seen that, I woke up probably 20 minutes after this happened. If I had seen that, yeah, I see an old POC tap to the dollar on an impulsive move like that, I'm going to pull the trigger on that short. But alas, I was a half hour too late. A lot of people in the lounge got that short. They were very happy about it. And you know what? I'm happy for them. One thing I did advise, though, don't scalp away your anger. I personally was extremely patient, waited for our value area high, traded it down to point of control, closed out most of my scalp, and then it got knocked out this morning. So I personally am flat right now. What we can do to see what Bitcoin might do after a big impulse like that is take a look at the volume of the initial retrace. So we came up, we came down, and then the retrace from low here to high there. We examine the volume, and you can notice that we're putting in a triangle really trapped between the value area high and the point of control. Two principles here. One, after a very impulsive move, you can expect a range, and a triangle is a good way to form a range. And then two, the initial retrace after the impulse often points you towards the direction of the upcoming local range. So we're seeing both of those play out live. Again, stuck within the retrace value area, putting in a little triangle right here. One thing that we do teach that I've personally taught at Pro Traders Lounge is how to read liquidation patterns. And if you know what I'm talking about, you can see this clear as day, but this is a textbook for the moment. This could change, but at this moment, this is a range-bound liquidation pattern. No
It's perfect, man.
sign, yeah, no side is showing dominance. It's just very easily going back and forth, cascading. And you can see that we do have quite a number of longs here going into the rise of our local triangle. So is that enough? We're going to get enough. This could be extended out to the wick. We could go up just a tad bit higher. But I do like the idea of perhaps going maybe up just a hair. But let me just refresh this to get that VWAP good. But in reality, I would like to see a little just short-term move down, stay within the triangle for at least a little bit. I'm not saying it's got to stay in there all day, but I would like one more rotation in there for the time being. And then just as a reminder, for those of you guys who aren't familiar with Pro Traders Lounge, what we do, we are the premier live trading group available that I've seen. We give out live calls. We teach our methods. Netso and I yesterday, if we go into Altcoins, we live chart every Monday. It's kind of like every other Monday. We live chart some assets that our members ask us to live chart. Yesterday, we did OP, live charted, ZRX, and Blur. You notice we have the video here. We live charted these from a blank chart. You can see what we're doing. It's not magic. It's not secret. It's just data and principles that we've
Sometimes
developed.
it is magic, man.
So the magic man. Um,
Yeah.
no, it's just we're very transparent. I mean, we've got Bitcoin low time frame updates, high time frame updates. If you're not into cryptocurrencies, you would prefer to trade stocks and forex. We cover these ad nauseum. I mean, everything, every stock, commodity, indexes, anything you can think of. Not to mention, I mean, we do have a fantastic group of members that are always giving fantastic insights in the lounge. They really are a great bunch to learn, not just work with, but to learn from. They take our theories, they look at different aspects of the data. We work together to try to find new ways to look at data. It's a unique experience. It's a lot of fun. Anyhow, that's who we are. I don't want to go on too much about that. Just want to let you know who we are, what we do, in case this is your first time seeing us. So back to Bitcoin. There's something that really interests me. First of all, we have our previous impulse. And when I say impulse, you got to look basically as an overall move. So this right here, you could go from either low, to be honest with you, but let's just call this low. This right here, this whole move, that's an impulse. But honestly, this right here is another impulse. It's just a move that started high, ended low, with no real big retraces in between. So the previous impulse value area high, I wouldn't mind seeing that retapped if we do kind of break this little triangle, because typically what you see with these triangles are fake moves. You know, you'll come in, it may even go to, sometimes I hate when it gets down to the very tip like this, just right to the tip, and then bam, move down, and then move up. Like you'll see a double move often happens with these triangles. If we do get a double move and we do head to the downside, retesting this value area high that we slice through would ultimately be retesting this little mini range. I believe we'll get a reaction from there. Now, whether it's a day trade or just a scalp, I would treat it as a scalp because I don't have the confidence in it at this point to call it a day trade, but I think it'll offer a reaction. From the higher time frame perspective, something that really looked cool to me is when I look at the local impulse, just low to high, where it never really stopped going down. We have our historical volume gap from back in September. If you just look right to left, it's a fantastic SR level. And it's just, the volume gap is just something I label for a type of inefficiency. It's a really good way. It's a trading level. It's a good SR level. We teach you how to find those. But notice how the point of control of this rise up lines up with the volume gap. And not only that, and this is something that you kind of have to know a lot about volume to really get into, but this right here should be on your mind. This is what I call a pocket of buyer onlys. So during this candle right here, we had an area that was likely an area of FOMO buying, a combination of hitting stop losses, nothing but buys in this candle. Now you're going to see one of two things happen. Let's go ahead and mark this area out so we can see it a little more clearly. One of two things is going to happen here. You got to be ready for both. If this is extremely bullish, start on that scenario. If we're going to erase that wick, if we're going to take the high out, this box will be defended. It will come up, price will come down into it. I've seen it happen a million times, bounce off it, and it'll make the move up. That's if it wants to be bullish. Now, if it wants to grab liquidity, which I'd be preferable to wait for that personally. Just after this wick up, let's take out some leverage long. Even if we are going to move up after this, I would like to take out some leverage longs. But a move, if we slice through this, I would be waiting for that point of control. Trade it back. You got to take profits at this area here and then just see what happens. Because this could just continue back on down. It could slice right back up. But those are the two areas at which I would look for longs. Either the tapping this pocket of buyer onlys or fully clearing it, preferably hitting that point of control. Because look at that massive volume node down there. That's something that I believe would offer a reaction if tapped. Now, zooming out to the really, really high time frame before I pass it out to Netzo. You guys may have heard the news yesterday that there are spot ETFs were approved for Bitcoin. What does that actually mean? There have been ETFs for Bitcoin in the past, but they're based on futures. And the fees that are associated with those are rather high because you have to keep rolling them over, and it wasn't ideal. A spot ETF allows, like if you're in the US, it allows you to put your financial planner to put your 401k funds into an ETF with spot Bitcoin. So you're not paying those fees of trading off futures. What does that mean for the market? It could add a little bit liquidity towards the market. What I would like to see, preferably, because we still have our sell zone up here, 32, 33K. What I would like, personally, now right now we're holding above the local value area high. You can't get too bearish as long as it's happening, and we are, again, in this little triangle. So no reason to rush into trades. But what I would like to see, personally, just for the sake of liquidity in both directions, a small drop down, big move up. I would like to get, and then I would like to suck in that 401k money, suck in that extra liquidity, drop it on down. That's what I would like personally. I've been waiting for this area for some time. There are data-driven reasons to look for this area. And now we have a liquidity-based reason to look for this area. We could have, if the market moves up, you're going to have all these financial planners dumping money into these ETFs. Let it chop around up here for a while, let them get excited, dump it on them. That's kind of like, I'm trying to predict the pain so I don't experience it and I can guide our members through it. That's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. I do have a little more data to go over with you, but I don't want to just kind of ramble on and on. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to my main man, Netzo, and let's see what he has for you guys to go over for the time being.
Thank you, PC, for telling us everything about Bitcoin, especially the ETF stuff. I mean, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a little extra liquidity. That's all people should really think about.
Honestly. Honestly, who wanted to buy a spot? I mean, you got some nice exchanges to buy. I don't know that if we get that for the spot, I don't think we will double the market cap, but yeah.
No, I don't think so either.
We'll see. But before I start, I would definitely like for everyone to like our video, to reshare to anyone that's interested in crypto, because we're gonna do some juicy TA now. So I don't want anyone to miss this out. So I do a lot of YouTube updates, a lot of Twitter videos on our ProTrader account, and honestly, once we went down with this flush, my main idea was looking for that range. So what I pulled, and you can check this out on all the old videos I did pull a volume profile on the whole range, and I wanted this range to continue, not just go here and just flush down. I definitely wanted some sort of head and shoulders. My main upper target was this famous liquidity here, because you had like tons and tons of equal highs being made here, so there was definitely a ton of liquidity there. And my primary target was coming back there. So, I mean, just do not think that I'm just blabbing on. Like, you can check out the Pro Traders launch. This was the head and shoulders I was pointing out. Also on probably most of our sessions here on Pro Traders launch. This was, again, debated to have some sort of, and you can see the liquidity lines that were pulled here. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit, and there was definitely an idea of some head and shoulders from that liquidity grab being taken out. And also once that was taken out, I mean, as I said, almost every time that I'm at my computer, that I can talk to the members. I always say honestly, when I take a short, where is my stop loss? So above the wick. And you can just see the time was 15:31. If we zoom out to the 1 minute chart, yeah, you can see the 30-minute 31 is like this second candle that was made after taking that liquidity. So
you bastard, you got the trade I
yeah. I waited for that like for 2 months, honestly. So it was worth it. But then again, if you do not catch the highs, here's again an example. We update our members. I have plenty of the updates, but those are for now kept in secret in the Pro Traders Launch Discord. But again, whoever misses some sort of big short, there is always a way to get in. You will miss maybe a 1%, few percent, but there is always a way where you don't have to be scared. You don't have to chase the pumps. And this was basically this. An order block was formed with some high volume Confluence here. And then again, I was looking for this to be trading as an SR area. What did we do? We came back. If we go, what happened later on? So if we mark the 3-minute order block, so this here, you can see we got a nice, I think it was a 3%, 2%. So yeah, 2.5% move down. So you can miss a lot, but you can get really, really fast liquidated by chasing those pumps, especially on news events. I mainly try to evade them, but once coming back in such juicy areas that I have been patiently waiting for 2 months, I mean, it's worth the risk. But yeah, let's go and see where we are currently. So yeah, as you can see, we are basically forming a head and shoulders pattern, and we are coming back into our, we are back into our value area of this whole range. So one of my key areas that I will be looking at, if we check out order block wise, we have a weekly order block here. And there was a weekly order block that I hope a lot of members in Pro Traders Launch took, because this was a perfect tab. Honestly, I wanted a little bit lower for a decent, better compound on my long, but honestly, this was okay. So these two areas are for me key now on Bitcoin. What do we have? We have also the very high of the range. I think PC were mentioning this upper part, so 291, 292.
Yeah, basically the bottom of our old range. I'll show that once you're done.
If we check out, I can check out the bottom. Yeah, the bottom of the low range, you have the value area low. Also from this, I always like it, especially when we have, like, most of the time me and PC are on for the sessions, and sometimes Yunus and so on, but the best Confluence that I ever had is when PC and I had similar areas. Usually they tend to get pretty nicely respected, so
it works out. That secondary short that Netzo was describing to you, that's the one I took yesterday, and seeing his data on top of what I was looking at just gives you a little extra Confluence.
Definitely. That just gives me an extra boost for that, but yeah. Let's go on. So yeah, these two areas. So we have been below the range, tried to go below the range. This is something we talked about in previous free YouTube sessions where I did take the entry and why I did it, blah, blah, blah. So there was, again, once you come back in, there is a potential we will quickly visit the value area high of the range. Of course, if somebody is determining this as a range or not, I have been. So honestly, this was a big area for me, and especially the liquidity above us was, again, with that head and shoulders potential. So now what could happen here is basically we could just come up, backtest the value area high, come back to the point of control. If we lose the point of control, we can backtest it. I will show you another Confluence for that. If we go below the weekly order block, then this will get really bearish, and I will probably look, because not on all exchanges we have this big wick, I will be aiming for that lower liquidity part, honestly, or go even lower if this happens. So my main target was here, the head and shoulders pattern. If I see some strength, so for now we are still in the range. I'm not even bearish, I'm not even bullish, I'm just trading the levels. But if we start to reclaim, come back, start to backtest the value area high on the order block, then I mean the liquidity has been cleared here. We do have some resistance here above us, still could provide a potential day trade or scalp trade, but honestly in the end I'll be looking for a bit higher, especially for the PCs level to 2K. Honestly, so just treating, not bearish, not bullish, just treating this as support and resistance areas, trading them area to area, and that's it. If we go lower time frame, and here's an example I will show you now, we do have a 6-hourly order block. What do we have for Confluence on that order block is again that point of control range, point of control of this whole range that I showed you a little minute ago. And what do we have here? So if we go on the daily time frame, you can see we got a daily imbalance. Let's mark this out with a different, let's mark this out with a different color. So we have a daily imbalanced area here, candle one. We got the 6-hourly order block here. I can show you a similar example on this. So here we had, again, a daily imbalanced area. If we go lower on the 6-hourly time frame, you can see we had a 6-hourly order block here. 6-hourly order block. I can mark it out in, was it in yellow? Okay, so the similar plan, okay, on Bybit we had this big wick. On other exchanges we didn't, so we tapped just the upper part of the order block, not going fully through it. But again, I think we can get a similar scenario where we take out the first retrace liquidity. So first retrace liquidity, we might just range here a little bit or maybe get that triangle. I know even PC is looking at that area, but for different reasons. Again, Confluence, but from different TA perspective. We might get that triangle here, go down, sweep the liquidity, enter the daily imbalanced area, and come back up looking for that potential weekly and value area high range short. But again, if this gets broken with some characteristics that are significant for me, once order blocks are broken, and that's something you can we basically I teach Pro Traders launch, then I will definitely look for that backtest long and looking for higher. So just trading area to area. And yeah, if we now again look at this, oh come on. If we take the range here, you can see we got the point of controls here. We got also a daily naked point of control in this area, so 278. You got here a daily. What was basically keeping us today was, again, high volume areas, and this is something we really try to use constantly. So volume area, you can see here, high volume was supported. Again, where did we retrace before bouncing in today's range? Of course, we went back into the high volume area. You can see the white candles, high volume areas. And once this is supporting, we have a smaller one here below us, which would come into that 6-hourly order block. So once this is broken, then it will be probably a little more bearish to the downside, and we'll look for that weekly order block below us and so on. So just trading level by level. So honestly, no stress, no freaking out, no nonsense trades. Where are we? Oh, the market is doing 15% and I'm without a trade. Who cares? I mean, unless you're losing money, you should not stress, and the trade will come eventually to you.
Yeah, think of it in terms of probabilities, guys. I mean,
yeah.
if you just got a massive move up on Bitcoin, what are the probabilities that you're going to get another one? Like really soon. Altcoins are different, but Bitcoin, major assets like that, that's why we always say look for the range after an impulse, because like you don't go looking for the massive crash or the follow-up pump. You're probably just going to move sideways, just like Netzo's saying. Oh, Netso, I think you might be muted there, brother.
Oh, scheiße.
You good? All
Sorry
good.
about that, guys. So you got the magic bands. Again, the higher part looking for the weekly. The mid band is coming in the 6 hourly order block, and the lower part you got right there is Confluence. So decent amount of confluences for these three areas. Again, if broken, look for the next one. If broken upper part, look for the next upper range. The next upper area. And that's honestly it. There's really nothing to be scared of, or just patience and levels. So just Confluence, we had CVD, bullish CVD just now, why the price is a little bit going to the upside, and where you could envision, like just generally, once we make an impulse. So Bitcoin makes an impulse. So it makes an impulse. It does a range. If that range, you can see higher lows, and you can see here almost this low eventually did go even past this. This is something you can expect another impulse. And once you get another mini range, again, you get bearish CVD. Bullish CVD. What do? Take your short profit because we might get another impulse, and you get another impulse, and so on and so on. So CVD is really a key tool to use, especially once we impulse and make those small ranges in between. You can get a lot information out of this. So would you take your short TPs quicker? Look for some long positions in those smaller ranges. But yeah, I don't know, PC. Can I go a little bit on order flow, or do you have something that I don't babble here on too much? But again, don't forget
brother,
to like the video.
That's what we're here for, man. That's what the people want to see.
PC. If they like the video, I think you can go on. But if not, I don't know. We have to discuss about.
I don't have it pulled up. How many likes do we have right now? I don't want to get like a
Let
double
me
feed
check.
in the audio.
Give me a second. Give me eine Sekunde, mein Freund.
Here, while he's checking, I'll just give you guys a brief update.
The likes are pumping, so
nice.
I think you can continue.
Go for it. Yeah, delve into order flow because we're still. I'll just briefly pop over for just 1 second. We had a little wick through the triangle. Longs came in heavily, and we're starting to reject from there. So really nothing to report. Just range bound price action on Bitcoin. So I'll pass it back to you.
Nice, man. Nice. So maybe what I can talk about is, as you all saw, like in the Pro Traders launch, we have a lot of diversity. A lot of our Pro Traders use just price action, no tools. PC, on the other hand, uses ExoChart. I, for instance, use Trading Light. Michael uses ATAS. Also, I use ATAS a little bit. So if you're interested in anything, there is everything to learn in Pro Traders launch. So that's what makes it a little bit specific from other groups, that you got just only one professor teaching you everything. I think one guy for everything is a little bit harder because you cannot get into specific, but a lot of pro traders with their unique strategies, unique tools that they can dive into specifically and tell you everything about it. That's something you can trust and really learn in depth separately for each tool and so on. So,
well, there's so many trading strategies out there. Not only just successful ones, but just strategies that are offered in general. It's hard to know what to use, what to pick from. And what we tell people, we even have a number of different strategies and in different methods within the lounge. Data makes sense to you in certain ways. Like to me, volume profiles, it just makes sense. Like I read it, I can see what the data is telling me. I've looked at it enough to tell. Netza looks at Trading Light. He sees a story. Duke looks at TPO profiles. He sees a story. He sees something speaking to him. Different strategies will click in your head. Like I don't use TPO profiles, but you better believe I take notice when Duke is showing his and his info is matching up with mine, or when Netzo's info is matching up with mine. Just because I'm not using their methods to find my levels doesn't mean I'm discounting them, and doesn't mean they're not working. They definitely are.
And you can see just from this what we did today. So honestly, and me and PC before the stream, we checked out some levels, and you can see he got them on a different way. The upper part, the 6 hourly my order block, the lower part. So we got probably almost the same area, not quite to the dollar same, but similar areas with different techniques. And yeah,
It's the beauty of it, man.
that's
Working as a
quite
team.
fantastic.
Working as a team. That's the whole point of
Yeah.
this. Dude, we got members that are doing twists on my volume. The way I read volume profile, they're doing some twists on the data that gets used to put into it. And so I'm looking forward to seeing their results of it. But like it's a continuous growth experience, not just for the members, but for us too. They push us to be the best that we can be, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta keep up with the market, and if you're not keeping up and just using, I mean, something, the market can counter trade you, and you suddenly start to see losses when you had previously winners. Like the market is constantly having new market makers, new strategies, new bots, new AIs, and definitely they are changing even faster than they were previously. And you have to keep up with the market, keep up with the strategies, keep up what you're seeing, your stories, ideas. That's definitely something to be aware of, 100%. PC, you got a question on YouTube. Does the point of control on the volume gap mean that the gap was filled?
It does mean that there was a lot of price action there. Now, when you say filled, the reason that that's on my chart, it's a local volume. Gets from what a little over just about 3 weeks ago. It's it's filled, but it's filled. But the only time that price ever spent, let me go ahead and pull my screen up here so I can show this. So you can see here, this is where we got the volume gap established. And you see how it like keeps wicking off this level over and over again, like wick, 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 wick. This is where it probably got filled in, which means we gathered a lot of positions at this specific volume gap level. Now, if we gathered a lot of traders there, it's going to be a lot of longs and a lot of shorts. So if you have any shorts that didn't get flushed out by this move, they're praying to get out at entry. That's what they're looking for. So what we'd be looking for is get out at entry, give us the reaction. Now it may just be a small reaction. Again, could continue on down. It could be a bigger reaction. But filled is a way you could say it was filled. I would just say it's an incredible level of interest that we need to keep an eye on, because when it's revisited, there are underwater traders, several of them. There's 12-hour candles, all of them tightly packed in this area. There's going to be trap traders there that are looking to get out at entry. So that's why, filled, sure, but more importantly, it's a level that I would look for a reaction from if revisited, especially on the first touch. I always tell people the first touch is usually the best. If we do this, we bounce and we come back down, I'm not going to be as comfortable taking that trade on the second touch, because all these people, they already got out right here. So, I would say you're right saying it was filled, but it is still an incredible level of interest, is how I would answer that. Pass it back over to you, Netzo.
Nice. Maybe I can go a little bit on order flow. Just what happened at the highs, what could be your Confluence. If you checked out Binance or Coinbase, I mean the top, you had a big limit here, 300 Bitcoin, and you can see all of this. Someone bought 300 spot just at the top, right in the limit, and everything got absorbed, and from there on you just dropped down. So this was really, really a nice Confluence. And as I remember, also Finex was doing some crazy stuff, not USD, but I think it was USDT. Yeah, also USDT. As you can see, once they start to pile their clusters, usually price reverts from there. So you got, again, a cluster above us, you went down, cluster under us, you went up, and again, last cluster where we got that impulse up. We had also here a cluster of limits, so spot limits instantly got filled, and then you got that little flashy down there. What's interesting for me currently and what I'm currently watching is Deribit. So Deribit, I don't know what this guy is doing, but there was a massive short here with what was it? What is this? What was the delta? So 30 million long, 30 million short. You can see the open interest rising, and they squeezed them out instantly. So I mean, the fees would probably hurt quite a lot for this guy. He got probably some initial profits, but I don't think he just took out, because this is all on the squeeze. You got open interest. No open interest was falling in this range, so he honestly didn't take any profit. But once he got squeezed, you can see he probably just put some laddered stop loss, and he got out with that stop loss. So that this must have had hurt, because 30 million short, and if you account the fees, he must have taken 100k at least loss or plus just by fees. So this probably hurt quite a lot. And this could be again your initial idea for an entry. So once you see this being squeezed out, you might see a continuation up, which we got. I didn't take any longs here, so but could be a nice decent scalp long. What I'm interested now is the Deribit clusters. Never seen them put it like that, so a couple of million. If you go close up, you can see 1.5 million each limit. So this is 6 million, 4.5, and 5 million here. So if we get a push up here to the first limits, if we get that open interest rise, definitely I'm looking for that. You might also consider it as an SFP trade, because we do have a high here. They're waiting with some limits here. So if you see those characteristics going up here, filling those limits, massive longs into them, you get that retrace below the high, then I think we might get the SFP and continue lower to the lower part where we got the 6-hourly order block. But we'll see about that still. There are still some longs coming in currently on Bybit, especially a few millions, 2.5, 3 million here. So if they don't close soon, and if we do start to fall down, you might get some nice flush down with open interest. Also on Binance, you got also some limits here absorbing open interest going up on longs opening. A little bit of absorption on spot. As you can see here, 70. They're waiting still with another limit just above. So quite interesting for now, but nothing big or huge is happening. No spoofing that I could see. You got some on Bybit a little bit here below us, waiting patiently for some to be filled above us, but nothing big or nothing interest has been really happening today. Bitstamp has been playing around with, or probably scalping a little bit. If you check out Bitstamp exchange, so this is the spot exchange. If you can see the upper part where we got into that 3-minute order block that I was talking about at the beginning of the stream. So we got this 3-minute order block, and right at that order block we had Bitstamp absorbing here 150 Bitcoin, and this is, I can tell you, this is a huge spike in volume on Bitstamp, and was just my additional Confluence for that short. Because if you check out, I mean, look at this volume. You can see this here delta. So if you check out here, this whole, what is this? Few days, even if you go lower. I mean, look at all of this data. This is few days of data, and this spike is the biggest that was here. So volume-wise, 150 Bitcoin on Bitstamp is quite a lot. So this was an excellent Confluence for that short. So for now, I'm not seeing anything that much. No bigger limits, just some spoofing around. So you can see spoofs above, price goes down. Spoofs lower, price goes up. So honestly, nothing concrete that we can trade off. But yeah, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to say on this YouTube. So we got our areas. We are prepared on in Pro Traders Lounge. Again, we do have next sessions. I will be up tomorrow on the live session where we also trade live. If we get that chance, if we get the price to go into some of our areas of interest, and Thursday also I think I'm on. So will be an exciting week this week. And again, don't forget to pump up the likes. But yeah, that's it. PC, do you have something to add?
Just a little local context here, and also I'll just kind of re-review what you went over in terms of the potential support below. Like Netso said, we are seeing a big increase in longs on Bybit. Shorts are coming out. Open interest is going up. So yeah, it is longs causing this increase kind of right again into our triangle top. Yeah, I'm not trading this triangle. It's more for context. Sometimes you don't, you identify a pattern. You don't necessarily have to trade it. You're just waiting for like the break, waiting for the liquidity grab so you can trade it up or vice versa. But at the moment, yeah, we seem to be just trapped within this triangle. From a high time frame perspective, I do still like the area below our high time frame wick that we've made down here. We have this big old massive volume node, value area low, right around 22.8 to 31.1. That's where I would like, if we do get impulsive to the downside, take liquidity down there. That is an area I would look to trade to the downside from a high time frame perspective. And then, like we mentioned earlier, 32.6 up to 33.6. And yeah, looks like we're starting to get that movement down back within the triangle. I mean, if you're taking these little range bound trades, make sure you take profits quickly, take them early, take them often, secure your win with the stop loss. This is not a high reward area. So make sure if you do have a position in profit that you're securing it. You're taking profits off the table. You're locking in the win with the stop loss. There's no way you can lose once you get in the green. But other than that, yeah, we just have to wait for the data to develop. We got to see which way out of the triangle we break. We'll look at the volume once that's done, and then I'll have more data to relay to the lounge once we see the break of this little local range bound price action. That's what I'm seeing. Cool. Any questions? Any more questions you see on there, Netso, that we can get to before we let everyone go?
No.
Okay.
I don't see anyone.
Well, guys, I mean, hop into our Discord. I mean, we got a waiting room free. You can ask us questions there. We'll get to you when we see it, and or just hit us up. But as a reminder, everything that we did discuss today is for entertainment and educational purposes only, and all trades that were discussed were paper trades only. With that, I wish you all a very pleasant Tuesday. Have a great rest of the day. Be patient, stay safe, protect your capital.
Same, guys. Same. Protect your capital and enjoy the week. Stay patient, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.